guys, go to hardafseltzer.com. Get some 8% seltzer shipped right to your house. We got the peach, we got the watermelon, we got the pina colada, and the blue raspberry. We are currently live in over 300 stores in Tennessee, Alabama, Georgia, Florida, Outer Banks in North Carolina. And if you're heading out to the Major League ballparks this summer, make sure to check us out in the Miami Marlins Stadium, as well as Tropicana Field, home to the Tampa Bay Rays, as well as the Tampa Bay Rowdies. We are live inside all three stadiums. So if you're down in Florida this year, check us out. Go to hardafseltzer.com today and check your store locator or order them right to your house.
Welcome to Drinking Bros, presented by GhostBed.com.
Yeah, welcome to the Monday morning recap, everybody. As always, we're brought to you by MyBookie.com. Promo code Drinkin' Bros will double that first deposits all the way up to $1,000. Bet with us or against us if you want to. Notre Dame was the biggest bet of the weekend here. That led off college football live in Ireland. D'Anthony and I got that one correct at minus 20.5. We also took that under as well. Delco and Bob, you guys thought it would probably be a little closer here. Were you surprised by anything in the game? Or did you watch it on Saturday?
Yeah, dude. I like Estime, running back for Notre Dame.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he looked good.
He's good.
They didn't give him a whole lot of carries, but it's the first game of the season.
First series, they just couldn't tackle him.
Yeah, it was like
marched
he had
down the
6
field.
in the first series, yeah.
But Hartman looked solid. Some throws, even on some of the touchdowns, a little behind the receiver. Probably could have put it in front of them a little bit better. But, knocking off the rust, kind of working out the kinks with your new guys, new team. Notre Dame looks good, man. Freeman, I was texting Rob this. Hottest coach in college football?
Sexiest wise?
Yeah.
I'll agree with
Yeah.
that. I agree with that.
What about that dude? Isn't that guy from Miami pretty good looking?
No.
Cristobal?
Yeah.
I don't think so.
I thought he was a good looking dude. I can't pick him out of a lineup.
No, me neither.
Freeman's
but,
just jacked.
He's jacked. He still looks like he's
clean
at
cut.
Ohio State.
Yeah.
He looked identical to when he played at Ohio State. That guy.
37,
I
has
know.
6 kids.
Is he really?
It's too many kids.
Very Catholic.
Very
He's very
Catholic, yeah.
Catholic, and that's where he should be. Is coaching University of Notre Dame.
Respect.
Sam Hartman looks like he's 38 years old, by the way.
Got the beard, long hair.
But a real thick beard and a really thick hair.
Kind of
He's
doing
on-
the Will Greer at West Virginia.
Just like, oh, that guy.
Similar vibes.
Yeah.
Very stunning looking. When you see him on the sidelines, you look like you're in a fucking commercial for Just for Men, that guy. But it's all real shit with him. Yeah, I was impressed. I mean, look, like you guys said, with him just transferring and everything, the impressive thing is he just transferred over the summer. So it's not like he was there since January or anything else. Like, it is going to take some fucking time to catch up. And if one of the best quarterbacks in the nation is, kind of underthrowing balls, which I agree with. Some of those passes, they were like, oh, man, look at how amazing. I was like, no, the ball was underthrown by
It's a good thing it was Navy.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly. The only thing I kept thinking was, all right, if that Buckner kid ends up starting for Alabama, imagine how far behind you'll be there. And he's not as good as Hartman is. But if you're Notre Dame and the Notre Dame fan base and you look at it, great quarterback, great running back, decent wide receivers, decent defense.
Always a good defense.
Always a good defense out of there. You're pretty stoked about how the year started, especially going over to Ireland where, you don't know that field and none of those conditions very well. So they look great. Mm-hmm. They look great. Did you watch any of the afternoon games?
A little bit. Watched Ohio, San Diego State.
Yep. I did too. There was a weather delay in Vanderbilt. It was my only loss of the weekend.
Hawaii was playing for something bigger than sports. For the island.
They covered for the island.
They covered for the island.
Shit, dude.
For Maui.
So pissed off.
Is
about
The
that
it.
over
why-
hit too. Let's
That was the only
go.
one. I got the
Hawaii overs are back.
I don't know. I got all the things except for Vanderbilt.
Do you think Siobhan Cordero was playing for Hawaii as well? He used to be their quarterback, right?
Yeah, for San Jose State.
Yeah, because they put up. I mean, not that USC has a great defense or anything, and that is what it is. But they did put up 28 points on them.
That's what worried me. So I watched that game as well later on in the evening. That was a late game. If San Jose State's dropping 28 on that defense.
They can
They're
score,
going to be
though.
competitive in the
Oregon.
Mountain West.
But imagine Oregon or Phoenix or like any of those guys.
Or even if you somehow stumble your way into the playoff, anyone in the playoff. Anyone in the playoff.
Listen, San Jose State's going to end up probably with 8 to 9 wins. It's going to look like a fine win. Like
Really? Because you kind of laughed at me when I drafted them in our outside the top 25. You were like,
It's just better Mountain West teams.
San Diego State. Huh?
Sure. But if they're putting 28 on USC, I'm worried for that fucking defense.
It's going to be terrible. It's going to be fucking awful.
Awful.
They're going to lose 2. They're
Noted Lincoln Riley hater right there.
He
I'm
gets
with you.
worse every year.
I'm
And
with
this
you.
year seems to be the same. I bet you this team has 3 fucking losses.
No, I
Well, when
probably
Venables
agree,
is
yeah.
unemployed in like a year and a half, he can just bring him over as defensive coordinator.
Yeah.
And they'll fucking get straight again.
Boom.
Right?
Why has Lincoln Riley never had a defensive coordinator?
Well,
He doesn't call his own plays or anything, right? On defense
Riley?
and shit?
No, not
No,
defense.
Riley's
In
offensive
Riley's
I
defense,
know he's an
I will
offense.
say, so he took over for the surprise Bob Stoops retirement, right? Like Bob Stoops out of nowhere was like, I'm done. And Riley took over immediately.
Except for bowl games. Where
Yeah,
he kind of
yeah.
pops
Yeah.
in like Barry Alvarez.
But so Riley takes over, and he doesn't have a lot to say because he's like a 33-year-old, and Stoops had been employing his dipshit brother to be the defensive coordinator, and Riley didn't have the cachet to get rid of him. So for the first 2 or 3 years,
Not even the right Stoops brother.
yeah, he had the doofy Stoops brother calling his defense, which probably cost Oklahoma a spot in that college football championship when Baker Mayfield was their quarterback, where Georgia
came
had
back,
that furious comeback in the second half. Yeah, so first couple years, not totally on Riley really because he couldn't fire the other Stoops brother, right?
Right.
But then they did eventually fire the other Stoops brother because it got so bad, and he just kept hiring shittier and shittier coordinators on defense.
Yeah, look, I know it's early, man, but real early. I'm going to go ahead and make an overreaction here and say that USC is definitely not making the playoffs.
No, I don't think they will either. And the key indicator for me is that 4 of their top 5 tacklers are in the secondary. Mm-hmm. 2 safeties and 3 cornerbacks. Those are their tacklers.
Not ideal.
That's bad.
But if you look at the offenses
against
there,
any team,
if you look at
bad.
the offense of Washington with Penix, Bo Nix in Oregon,
Pac-12's
second
good.
year in there.
I'm telling you, like
their offenses are good. They have no defenses in that conference.
Utah.
whatsoever.
Oregon has-
And then
not
Utah.
true. Utah's going to
Utah.
play great defense.
Yeah.
Utah, but those could be 3 potential losses right
Fuck
there.
that, dude. Chip Kelly might put up 40.
You're
on
right.
it.
UCLA
You're
last
right.
game of the season.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
It's just tough, man. They're going to beat each other up. They're going to cannibalize the conference. And, yeah, nobody in the Pac-12 is getting in probably.
it could be
Nope.
4 losses on that schedule there potentially, and it's going to be brutal. That's all I kept thinking when I watched that game. Caleb Williams looked fine. I mean, he had 4 touchdowns and 275, but he also didn't really have to try against his team.
He's fine.
He's
He'll
fine.
get his. He'll
He
get
will.
his numbers.
He will. Do you think he'll repeat his Heisman?
No.
No.
You never do.
Especially not if they lose 4 games.
Right.
But you just never can, really. Voters simply don't like voting for the same guy.
Yeah.
You'd have to be really goddamn dominant.
Like, Tebow couldn't do it.
No. Tebow didn't have the numbers though either. Like I understand it.
Tebow had numbers. It
He
was just
did, but
people
not,
didn't want to vote for him.
Not the best. You've got to be the best of the best 2 years in a row. And let's face it, there's a reason why only one guy has done it in the history of the Heisman. So I don't know that it'll be this year. And I'm with you guys. I think it's going to be because of the losses. He'll get his numbers, but the losses I think will be too much on a shitty team. So we'll see. But again, it's week 0. I like to overreact a lot.
I don't think that's an overreaction. I think that defense was every bit as bad as it looked.
Yeah, it looked bad over there.
Like, if I was a USC fan, I would already just be like, fuck, man.
Yeah.
Like, I'd just be throwing my hands up in the air.
UMass getting their 4th win in 4 years or whatever.
Now, the good news is that he might.
That's my overreaction.
That's that UMass.
The Minutemen are back.
UMass back. The good news is USC is going to go to the Big Ten West, and that defense is going to immediately look way better than it does in the Pac-12.
Oh yeah. I mean, look, Wisconsin's on the come up. We'll see what Nebraska ends up doing.
But I mean,
this year with a good coach.
they'll hold Iowa to 28. You know.
Fucking Iowa's never scored 28 in their entire
Yeah.
program, and
They
now
will
yeah,
when
they will.
USC
Yeah,
shows
you're
up.
right.
So I guess they have this point requirement in order to keep Ferentz's kid as the OC.
This year?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
They have to hit,
I
like-
actually love that.
It's like 320 points or something, 325 points, I forget.
Did
Oh
they
my
put it
God.
in the
Oh my
contract?
It's in
God.
the contract.
I hope.
I love it.
And I think if he doesn't hit it, they're both gone.
Why don't we do
hope-
that to every coach?
I fucking hope that they have an incredible season. I hope they're playing for the Big Ten West title to go to the championship game.
Iowa's
and
11-1.
like it's maybe it's like a regular season thing, right? They don't count championship games or bowl games or anything like that, and they have to get another touchdown to not get fired, but they need to kneel it.
Better scenario, they kick the extra point, it ties the point requirement.
Yeah.
But they go for 2. They go for the win. And they don't get it.
Oh, please, God.
That would be awesome. It would be so fucking good, and I hope it happens. I don't know why they don't do that to more people. Like if you're a DC, if you're a defensive coordinator, you should have to keep a team under a certain amount of points to keep your fucking job too, or else you lose that as well. I think that would be a fun thing to implement across the board. Then you're really rooting for something throughout the year. I mean, that's what makes it really fucking fun. So we'll see what happens here.
I got to say, my performance of the week, though, goes to quarterback for FIU, Grayson James.
What about him?
He went 5 for 14 for 4 yards.
It's pretty incredible, but I think the guy from Navy might have went 1 for 2 on the
He
weekend.
had 43 yards.
He had 5 completions.
Not kidding.
For 4 yards.
Yeah, that's great.
And they almost beat La Tech.
Did they really?
They lost, but they almost did. They covered.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow, that's fucked. Navy, they won't throw the ball down by 40. I mean, I've never seen anything like that. How many passes did that guy throw on Saturday?
It's not their offense.
I know it's not their offense, but when you're down by 40,
Trust the system.
you gotta.
Yeah.
You can't trust that.
He was 3 for 6 for 43 yards.
I just love that they kicked the field goal.
I would have. Have you guys been in that situation?
No.
I have.
I don't.
We were getting our
Get
asses
shut
kicked,
out.
and
Get
coach.
shut out.
No, coach was like, "Hey, bro, go and kick that field goal. We can't walk away with being shut out of here." I respect that move. You got to put something up on the board. Fuck them.
Then another overreaction. Rich Rod
Yeah.
at Jacksonville State. I think they're going to be competitive in the Conference USA. It's their first year in FBS. It's kind of like JMU last year where they kind of pop up. They're going to beat a lot of teams.
Right. Look, he was at Michigan for a while. He was terrible at Michigan, but he might be the guy for that type of program.
It's a good school for him.
Yeah, I think that's where he should be at. By the way, if we're looking at the big boy teams here for this upcoming weekend, 2 things to keep an eye on this week, it's crazy. We're 5 days out. Ohio State and University of Alabama has still not picked their quarterbacks. 5 days away.
Alabama probably won't be announcing until day of because Saban
most
said he's not going to
Saban thing
release.
possible,
He's
yeah.
not going to release a depth chart. Saban said so. You won't know who Alabama's starter.
What
is.
about a width chart? Because that's the one I'm interested in.
Yeah, that's fair. I hope so.
They got some big
34
boys.
We
inches.
built doors on houses the same for years. If you can't fit through that thing, then you're not a human being. That's how it works.
But what
Well, you want that in the middle, right? Defense.
So
Yeah,
what
I guess,
what are
yeah.
you hiding from? You're playing Middle Tennessee. Alabama is opening week, right?
Mm-hmm.
Why are you hiding your starter against Middle Tennessee?
You
The
don't-
spread is 39 already.
You don't want to let Middle
minus
Tennessee
39.
get a hold of your game plan before. You don't know what they're going to do. There's nothing to do in Middle Tennessee except for plan to escape that place.
Also, this is a team that Alabama never covers against, by the way.
I know.
They'll cover 28 against Tennessee or like a big game.
Yeah.
But like when they're laying 40, 45 points against dog shit teams, Saban, for whatever reason, hates Vegas and hates gamblers, and it's just like, we'll win by 37.
You know what else is interesting about that? The over-under in this game for being minus 39 is only 51.5. So, like,
Tennessee's not gonna score.
you're essentially saying this is a 38-13 game, which isn't great if you're Bama. I mean, you should roll Middle Tennessee State, but you're right, dude. They
don't care.
They never cover these games. You're right.
He just
I'm gonna have
tries
to sprinkle
things.
something on
And
there.
it doesn't.
These are the games that Saban just kind of fucks around.
Yeah.
Yeah. But also, I think he's doing it at this point in life because he hates the media, and he just doesn't. He's like, "Fuck you guys, I'm not telling you anything."
Yeah, it does seem like that. It's like a kid, 6-year-old's been trying to tell you about his Pokemon deck. It's like, I can't take any more of this. Get the fuck out
Have you ever
of
had
here.
a conversation with like a toddler? They just can't form sentences.
Every
nothing
day.
makes sense.
Yeah, that's
Every
why I
day.
like.
There's no rhyme or reason to anything they
Yeah.
say.
When I sneezed this morning, my 1-year-old said, Bakma. And it was like, it's bless you.
Yeah.
and she wouldn't get it. She didn't
Courteous,
get it.
though.
Did you slap her?
Yeah, slapped her around.
Pull her.
Got to.
So what's his nuts? Who's that? Bill Burr just said that he's found the solution to this. You just pour a full glass of water in their head until they stop talking.
Coffee.
Yeah.
Hot coffee.
No, I wouldn't do anything to injure the child, but certainly let them know that you're displeased with their behavior.
Because I'll listen to you about your Pokemon cards if you can actually get to the point.
Talk about
They
it.
never
Yeah.
can.
Be eloquent.
You're interesting, yeah.
Be eloquent.
Stupid little bitch.
Yeah. When I picked up my kid today after throwing up all morning long, at the office, I said, "Hey, buddy, what happened today?" And he goes, "I think I just drank too much water." And I was like, "All right, that's an honest answer, and I like it. You can get in the car." Otherwise, I would have left him there. Fun night tonight. We got the fantasy football drafts for all of Drinkin' Bros Sports tonight. Every single league will be drafted tonight, except for the Ultimate Fantasy Football League, Survivors League. I've always wanted to do this. I played this once in my life. I don't have enough time in life to do it. But I did a 20-man league, and it's the best of the best because you're going up against 20 fucking people in there.
You gotta
That
know your
will
shit,
really
yeah.
tell you who the best is at fantasy football. Cheers. I know you guys just had your draft, and afterwards there was a thread in Drinkin' Bros Sports on Facebook. It's a private group. Sign up. Just don't be a dick. All the bet slips go in there from my bookie and all that other stuff. And afterward, every single person was like, holy shit, that's brutal. Yes, it is. There's a reason why we did it. That is the most difficult league ever, and I just want to see who would win. And you're going to get a special ring from that this year. But we'll all be in the drafts tonight. Looking forward to it. Most of those start at 8 o'clock. Check your emails. Anybody who is auto-drafting, you will lose your fucking team. There was already one on the Ultimates Fantasy Football Draft. He will lose his team. You will lose your team if you are not in the draft.
And if we're able to capture one of those monkeys that has herpes, and I talked to a friend of mine who works in that kind of research, and she says that 70 to 80% of people die from that variety of herpes.
Really?
If it's not treated immediately, 7 to 80% death rate on that one.
Okay, that makes sense.
Without treatment. So just don't auto draft, and you won't have monkeys with AIDS showing up at your house to bite you. I think that's a pretty reasonable thing to do.
I think so.
Just show the fuck up and do your shit, man.
Real quick around the horn here. Who's a fantasy sleeper?
A sleeper? Fuck,
Yeah.
I don't know.
Kadarius Toney.
Yeah, Kadarius Toney probably is the most underrated guy. But
He's going late,
But
too.
he's a wide receiber one in the depth
know.
chart.
Everybody's forgotten
for
about him.
Patrick Mahomes. But technically, he's still a wide receiver too, right? Because of Travis Kelce. But I don't know. So do you, considering that Kelce's going to get more targets than he does in their offense? That's how it usually works, right?
Right.
And even some of the years when Tyreek Hill was there, Kelce still got more receptions. So do you treat Kadarius Toney, even though he's lined up at wide receiver one, as a wide receiver two in the draft? I think that's probably reasonable.
Yeah, totally.
It's probably reasonable to do that. So if he goes in the third or fourth round, that's not that big of a fucking mistake. But it is a value pick if you can get him out there because
Bro, I've been.
He's gonna
I've
catch
done-
a lot of passes.
I've done 2 drafts so far, and Tony on average went 9 and 10, 9th round, 10th round. People have just
9th and
forgotten
10th
about that.
round?
Yeah, dude.
That's crazy.
Everybody's
God damn.
forgotten about him.
People, and he's not gonna be sexy. He's not like Tyreek Hill where he just streaks down the field and catches deep balls. But that's not really how the Chiefs play anymore. They're
Yeah.
really underneath now.
he'll probably have 85 to 95 receptions for 1,100 yards, which is, that's great.
great year.
Right?
a great
Touchdown
year.
wise, who knows? They spread it out over there.
Yeah, they'll whoever can score will get the ball.
Yeah.
It's not. Yeah, nobody even asks for touchdowns there.
But this is a bounce back year for Tony, I think. Or not even really a bounce back, more of an establishing year for him.
He's
I think.
only 24.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's.
I think he's going to have a great year. But still, he is technically a wide receiver, too, if you're thinking about the way you're bundling your team up. And if you take running backs in the first 2 rounds, maybe Tony's not the guy that you should be getting in the 4th or 5th or whatever.
Yeah, it depends. Another guy to watch out for is overhyped. I'll go with the overhyped instead of sleeper here. He's going to live up to the hype, so I'm not worried about that. It's just I'm worried about actually getting him or trying to get him, depending upon where you're drafting. Garrett Wilson. Look, Garrett Wilson has been on everybody's draft board. Everybody's been stoked about him. He's got a great quarterback throwing to him. Rodgers played over the weekend, drove the ball all the way down the field, and threw a fucking dart to Garrett Wilson. That duo looks as advertised, so good luck getting him. Shit, dude. That could be a real goddamn fun team up there this year. If Dalvin Cook and Breece Hall and all those guys are able to come back healthy from their injuries, along with Garrett Wilson and everybody else. Shit, dude. It was the first time I get to see it in a preseason game. And they look real fun up there. So congratulations to the Jets fans. And we'll see you in the draft rooms tonight. Quick note here also, we were chatting about the Hurricane earlier. We will be live so far from UCF game Thursday nights at 4 p.m. The tailgate is in E8. That is in Echo 8, right behind the stadium. You can join us there. We'll be raging, drinking some hard AF seltzers. If it does rain, we will have a tent with us because you guys are driving out with it, right? The tents.
What?
Not to Florida.
No.
Not to Florida?
No.
I'm not fucking driving to Florida.
Oh, that's right. That's Alabama the next
Yeah.
week. I apologize. We're flying with it. God damn, I'm getting all these shit mixed together. But we'll be there. We'll have a tent in case it rains. So join us there. Friday night will be University of Miami. Weather permitting, I guess, for both of this. So far, so good. UCF said they're fucking playing. So we'll see. Miami said they're fucking playing, so all is good there. And then FSU, LSU, it's sunny as shit that night. So we should be all good for that. But the pregame there will be its Tactical Brewing. So you can join us that afternoon for the pregame there. And then we'll be doing a live show at University of Miami Friday night from the game. Doing all of our college choices on Thursday here. I've already fucking loaded up this week, man. I don't know if it's week one or I just love these matchups, but
You get a lot of fun non-cons. And
I
stuff like
dropped the fucking hammer already, dude. I've already got some of these bets placed, and I'm super fucking amped, especially for that Utah-Florida game to lead us off with. Because I believe in Utah. I don't believe a lick in fucking Florida this year. Have they named a quarterback? I don't think they have.
that. I don't know. It doesn't matter. Utah's gonna roll.
Florida? Graham
Only-
Mertz.
Have they said it?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
What is the line on that?
6.5?
I saw 8.
Yeah, it's dropped to 6.5. Is that Florida Gators fans? Who is that?
Allegedly, Florida's getting there, I think, day of or day before, so they don't have to acclimate to the altitude. Because, if you just run on adrenaline, it works. But if you get there a couple days before, it kind of fucks you up. You have to get there either 2 weeks before or go right there.
Breaking news right now. Because of the storm, they are actually flying earlier, so they're going to be there tomorrow.
Okay, so that makes more sense. So they have a little bit.
Yeah.
Maybe not. They might get smoked
Why?
because the altitude. Like I said, you have to get there either 2 weeks before or day of, so it doesn't fuck you.
Well, the last time I got there day of, and I was in Park City, I blacked out cold. I was gone. And I didn't believe in any of that bullshit. Altitude sickness and anything else, and I was done. Absolutely fucking done. So I think this will help. I was feeling fine by day 2 and 3. So I was all right, but I obviously wasn't playing in a college football game there.
Doing a lot of sprints.
Yeah, it definitely wasn't. I was definitely doing a lot of partying there at Sundance, but that was about it. Interesting. So, yeah, 6.5 though. This started at 8. You were right. It's already dropped to 1.5. I don't fucking get it. I'm all over Utah. in that
Utah
game.
always starts slow. That's just a Kyle Whittingham team.
But not there.
Maybe not, but
In the swamp, I
they're not
understand
going to
it.
look like Utah at the end of the year is going to look like a much different team than they do right now.
Yeah, I think they're at least not like they don't have something to play for every time they play, but I think they want to avenge that loss last year.
Yeah,
That
but I
really-
could see a Utah by 3 win.
Okay. I'm all in on Utah
That close late?
by a touchdown.
Maybe.
I
I mean, Florida. I mean, they are still SEC.
I get it.
Fuck that.
I get it.
Not this year. Florida's a team that is going to be cooked. Your co-host is going to be pissed this year. I have a feeling.
We predicted 5-7 for
Yeah,
them.
5-7.
Florida? Yeah. This is going to start off with a loss. As always, we're brought to you by MyBookie.com. Promo code DrinkinBros doubles that first deposit all the way up to $1,000. All the spreads, all the lines for week 1 of NFL are up. College football national championship odds are up. Heisman odds are already up. All the lines for this weekend in college are already up as well. Check the weather in some of these places to see what's going to happen as far as overs and unders are concerned. And obviously we'll be at UCF. And if it's pouring down rain, we'll see there. How do they do in the rain in UCF?
What do you mean?
Are they all right? They got a good run game?
Yeah, it's all running.
Oh, it is?
Yeah.
You guys usually chuck. Last time I saw you guys play, you chucked.
No, we got like 3 running backs. We got Plumlee is a run-first quarterback. Like I've said, he's poor man's Taysom Hill.
Okay.
Very
So-
much so.
So
I mean,
what-
Hill's slinging a little bit, but
Yeah, are you
he's
still-
not very accurate.
Are you taking the over in that then? And if it's raining?
Yeah, because we'll run it down their throats.
Okay.
Kent State is the lowest rated team in the country.
Plumlee
And-
is a super athlete, just not a good quarterback.
All right. Spreads up on mybookie.com. 37 for that UCF game. You can bet with Delco or against
Not
them.
one prayer. I'm buying 37 points
Neither. I'm not doing it either.
for UCF.
UCF's going to win like 70 to, I don't know, 6.
Maybe.
I'm
Running the
not
ball?
sure. I'm
In the
not
middle
sure
of a
Kent
goddamn
State-
hurricane.
Kent State is truly the worst team in college football. this
I
year.
don't know that they're going to score.
Kent
can't-
State?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think they're going to win.
What if they did?
Give me the fucking.
Give me Kent State. Put all the juice. It's got to be plus, 700 or something for them to win?
No. Like in the thousands.
It'd be like plus 5,000.
Yeah,
it's
I'll
fucking
look,
insane.
but it's high. I'm
You
sure.
might not even get a
might not
money
get-
line on it.
The odds, yeah.
Yeah, they won't give it.
Are you
that.
sure? It's
They-
my
that
book.
A
high?
lot of when it's that high, they usually don't even give you a money line.
I hope they do. Now I've got to look it up on my bookie just to see.
Yeah, they don't have it.
Oh, fuck. God damn it. All right.
And for comparison's sake, NC State's playing Connecticut, and it's still only plus 510, right?
Jim
Okay.
Mora.
Yeah.
UConn's legit.
I don't. No, they're not.
They're
UConn's
legit.
getting better.
No,
They're getting better.
you could put Jesus as the manager of that team, and they would still suck.
UConn is trying to get into a bigger conference, and they think Mora's the guy to do it. So
No, they're
we'll
going backwards.
See.
Yeah,
We'll
they're-
see.
they're
No, they're
going
literally
D2.
going to FCS.
We'll find out, dude. I think Mora wants these guys. where
They're
they
not
need to
going.
be.
We don't.
They
There's no finding out.
punted,
They already
yeah.
started. Miami, Ohio is plus 610, and the Hurricanes are minus 1,000.
Minus 1,000 that one?
Yeah, so it's only a 17-point spread.
I know.
That's
I'm just saying, sprinkle Miami.
That's dangerous. Even in that
Which
UConn,
one?
you're saying UConn is
Ohio.
an FBS school. It's minus 15. That's not a lot of points, man. Against NC State?
NC State's not good this year.
They're pretty whatever, yeah.
All right.
Pretty
We'll
bad.
find out. And if you want tickets to any of these games, go to drinkinbrostickets.com. We got everything there. We got all the college, NFL, concerts, everything you could possibly imagine. Hockey, minor league shit. Everything you need is on on drinkinbrostickets.com. And you can join us for the Miami game. If you bring a 12-pack of seltzer to the game, Dan and I will buy you a ticket. We're going to try to get a huge group together down there and then just rage. Hopefully it won't be raining, but I'll bring a rain slicker. We'll see how everything shakes out down there. Delco, did you watch the UFC this weekend?
In your head.
It's great, wasn't it?
In your head.
It's the best.
It's the best way to get knocked out cold and somehow maintain your respect.
It felt like I was watching a movie. Like, it was awesome. The whole fucking thing, dude.
I very much appreciated like Bisping and all the announcers laying out, letting the crowd take over.
Uh-huh.
The camera work was awesome. Just like during the entrance, even on the walkout when he got serenaded. Yeah, no, it was a great moment. Max knocked him out in the third round because Korean Zombie's like, fuck it. Let's go out my shield.
That's the way it should be.
Yeah.
I mean,
Let's
that in
get
my
his
opinion,
face.
yeah, dude. In my opinion, that's the way it should be. I don't think I've ever seen a fighter just go bombs away of like that. And I was telling Jessie because she was watching with me, and I go, man, the only reason you would do something like this is if you were going to retire afterwards.
Mm-hmm.
And then he did, and everybody was pretty shocked by it because why take a 16-month layoff and then take one fight and then just retire like that? That's pretty stunning.
But
was
I mean,
enjoyable.
he's taking longer delays, right? So after he fought Otto for the title when he was 26, he then had to do his 4 years of mandatory Korean service, military service. So we lost like the prime of Korean Zombie.
No
Yeah.
shit. You called this. You said on the show last week that Holloway was going to win.
Well, yeah, Max beats everybody except Volk.
Right. It was fun as shit to watch, man. I wish there was more fights like that. Both of them just standing up, kicking the absolute shit out of each other.
He's an all-time action fighter. He's one of Dana's favorite fighters ever.
Holloway?
No, Zombie.
Oh, Zombie. Yeah, he's fucking rad, man. So I was a big fan of that. The fact that it led into college football was an even bigger bonus on top of it. And it was great. What do we have looking forward to coming up in UFC?
I think we got a Paris card now this weekend. So another early fight card.
Okay.
Cyril Gane's fighting on it.
Oh, shit.
Rose is fighting on it. Yeah.
That's not bad.
It's
Is
okay.
it
It's an
pay-per-view?
okay card. No.
Oh, it's free.
ESPN
All right,
Plus.
good.
Yeah.
Good. All right, cool.
And then, the next pay-per-view is the Izzy card in September against Sean Strickland. But
Who wins that fight?
Izzy's going to destroy him. But Strickland's at least going to be a good shit talker for the promo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, look, that one I'll tune into. Cyril, I was always curious what the fuck happened to him after John Jones.
This is his first fight since.
I understand, but it was just like, it was such a weird, was that fight 20 seconds?
He can't grapple.
He didn't do anything. And I was like, all right, cool, man. Are you a real person or not? So why wouldn't you just take that same game plan and use it against him this next fight?
Because,
Who's he fighting?
Not everybody is John Jones.
Who's he fighting in this one?
Spivak.
Can that guy do anything?
Yeah. He's not. It's gonna be a pretty whatever fight.
Okay.
Yeah. It's not gonna be great.
Does Thug Rose win?
Probably. She probably gets the title fight after.
All right.
Yeah.
And then who is she go against?
Whoever wins the Alexa Grasso Valentina fight.
She's entertaining at least. I mean, that would be a big win if she got to fight for the title again.
Rose's last fight was the worst fight of all time.
It wasn't good, but wasn't she injured?
I don't know.
I don't know, but
something
that's
wrong
it was the
Carlos
most
Alcaraz one?
pointless.
They just didn't
What the
throw.
fuck are you even doing?
They just
I
stood there.
agree. Yeah.
Yeah. They just had like a fucking like an animated argument
Yeah.
for 15 minutes.
Yeah, it was
I would
strange.
watch that though, like a debate that could turn into a fight.
They got to stay in their native languages the whole time though.
Yeah.
And just talk slower and louder. Because that's the Rosetta. Before the Rosetta Stone, there was just white people screaming English words into Mexicans' faces.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? The good old days.
Yeah.
No,
dude.
That's the way it should be.
No, El Clino.
El
right?
Clino.
Or whatever they said. I don't know.
I would legit watch a debate that could turn into a fight. Like fighting. It's like a hockey game, right?
Yeah.
Like you could
It's like Lincoln Douglas, but there's a gun on the table.
yeah, like fighting. Winning the fight's not gonna win you the debate, but
Yeah.
they can fight if it gets too heated.
Well, that's part one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Phase 2 is physical. Feats of strength, right? There's the airing of grievances and the feats of strength.
Yeah.
And then there's something else after that.
Bob, you watching the U.S. Open?
A little bit early. I haven't caught the early rounds a ton yet, but yeah, I've watched a little bit so far.
Who do you got on men's and women's side this year? Is it Djokovic and then everybody else on the men's side?
Alcaraz is now his equal. Alcaraz is every bit as good as Djokovic.
He's ranked 1 now, right?
Oh yeah, he's ranked ahead of Djokovic, but
Yeah.
that's kind of normal. Djokovic's rankings have been all screwed up since COVID, just because and because he just is not taking as many events as he used to. But I mean, after that Wimbledon match, I don't know that I've ever seen anyone move like that on a tennis court. Like Alcaraz is every bit Djokovic is equal. I imagine they'll face each other in the final probably, or I haven't looked at the draw, so they could be semifinal, but my guess is final. And then women's side,
You got Iga? Do you have? Look, everybody's talking about Coco Gauff. She just won in Cincinnati.
I'm rooting for Coco. This could be Coco's coming out party. We'll see. The fun thing about hard court is that it's like totally neutral, so it's not, you don't really get specialty players. There are people who do better on hard court because they're more of a rounded game. They don't have like something that stands out on grass or clay. But there's not necessarily like a hard court game the way there is like a clay game or a grass game. But that said, on the men's side, it's Djokovic and Alcaraz and everyone else. Fuck Medvedev or anything like that.
Is Kyrgios even in the tournament?
No, Kyrgios isn't a human being.
Yeah. Well, he was complaining last year about the smell of weed at coming from the park nearby, and there's a woman complaining about it this year as well. It's like, you're in New York, right?
Right.
Yeah.
That entire state is weed.
Yeah.
So-
It's mostly weed there. There's like 7 people and a bunch of weed. I don't know. He actually last year said that he was asthmatic, so he's sure it's not good for him. Like the weed from 6 miles down the road, that's what took you down?
Dude.
Professional athlete?
He just bitches and moans.
Yeah, he's hard to like.
I'm actually happy that he's not in this.
He's just hard to like. I mean, he's a good player, but he fucking he has no composure at all.
No composure, and like when you see what he can do on a court, or what he could do on a court, he's at this point.
It's really irritating.
Yeah, I mean, he's probably the most fit. He was every bit as physically gifted as like Djokovic and Federer and stuff like that. But just
After I
Such a
watched the
turd.
Netflix doc on him, I'm out of him. I was just like, fuck this guy. He's such an asshole.
he's like the exact opposite professional athlete you would want like your children to watch.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
Like, just does everything wrong, like in a social, personal way. But I'm going Coco and Alcaraz. I kind of think, by the way, the U.S. Open has the longest streak of, it's been the longest of all the Opens since one of the big three has won. Djokovic won in 2018. Since then, no one of Federer, Nadal, Djokovic has won the U.S. Open. Alcaraz won it last year. Medvedev the year before that.
But Djokovic was out of it last year.
Yeah, he was, and he also killed that lady.
Yep.
But I just, man, like Alcaraz has reached like his final form, essentially.
I'm rooting for Djokovic, and
I am too.
Simply because I love the dominance of all of it. I want him to get the record, and then look. I've followed tennis for years. I think you have too. Usually, once you get over the hump like Alcaraz did, then you just dominate and take over for the next 10 years.
Yep.
And I think he will do that. I just want to see a couple more wins. Like, just same thing as I was rooting for Nadal as well, where I was like, man, just give him one more and let him go out. But we'll see what happens here, because if he wins two majors in a row from Djokovic, that will fuck with his psyche going into next year, because this is the last major of the year.
Yeah, and I will say this. Djokovic is a fucking robot.
Yeah, you're not fucking with his psyche.
So, like, he is losing that Wimbledon. He's probably as locked in as he's been in a long because he has kind of been on cruise control for a couple of years, because there's no one that's been able to touch him.
The toughest match he had was against Kyrgios, but only like the first two sets. Like after that, it was he dominated him in that last set.
That one was tough, and he had a tough one against Tsitsipas in the French Open a couple of years ago. But like it really,
but that's 2 and 3 years, man.
Yeah, like no one's touching him now. Alcaraz is, and I think he recognizes it, because like the way Alcaraz played in that fourth and fifth set. Or fifth set in particular was just fucking. There were no words. That's some of the best tennis I've ever seen played.
Well, looking forward to it. I've always got it on in the background and all that stuff.
That's the party open.
I know.
That's the if as much as I want to go to Wimbledon, the U.S. Open is kind of like my number one to go to, because that is just like a rager.
It looks fun. It looks fun. Wimbledon's still number one for me, just because I like the elegance and the class of it all. It's like the Masters of.
It is.
It is. Yeah, I would go to it.
But like the party one,
I would go to it.
I go to it.
Would you?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, you go out here.
Like if you gave me a ticket, I don't know.
Good for you. Yeah. Flight,
purchasing
first
it,
class, and a suite.
The French Open is weird though. It's like really small. It's in just some fucking park in Paris. I mean, they're all in some fucking park, I guess. But it's like the French Open's really small. The Aussie Open is supposed to be really fun too, but it's like feels like Iraq. Like it's 110 degrees during the Australian Open.
That.
I lived in New York,
Yeah, I'm surprised you've
off
never
and on
been.
2 or 3 different times. I never did. Just it was so far from the city.
Yeah, it's next to City Field. It's in Queens.
It's a fucking hike up there, and I was just like, all right, is this worth it or not worth it? I couldn't tell. I feel like it's grown into this party over the years. Same with like Waste Management or something like that. So I would go now for sure, but nothing when I was living there really got me that amped up about it. But it definitely does now, and I'd love to see it. But it'll be on in the background here. We'll switch on over to baseball. Heading down towards the last month here. Who's in and who's out here for wild card? We'll start with National League first.
I mean, the National League's pretty crowded. It's going to be a good race. I got to look at the standings.
Philly is pulled away from
Philly's good to
Miami.
Yeah, they should be. There's six teams though within 3 games of the final wild card spot.
Yep.
Right. So
It's going to get wild.
Phillies, Cubs, Diamondbacks are in the lead right now. If the season ended today, they would be in good spot. And to be honest, that's probably how it's going to end. I would be unless Cincinnati or Miami has some kind of run. The
Giants look a lot less shitty against everyone else who isn't us.
Yeah.
Like we've kind of killed the Braves, have kind of killed them in both the series we've played over the last week or 2 weeks or whatever. But
they can't really score though.
They don't have much of an offense. But I mean,
I would love to run into them in the playoffs. To be honest.
Cincinnati has no pitching. San Francisco has no hitting. Arizona's kind of mid. I mean, they have the Rookie of the Year in Corbin Carroll, and Zach Gallen and Merrill Kelly is a good 1-2 at the top of the rotation. They could be feisty. Arizona is certainly a better team than San Francisco or Cincinnati, but 1 month of baseball, you never know.
Yeah, who knows, man? Injuries and shit, but the Phillies are doing pretty well.
Yeah, you guys are terrified.
They're looking good. Their defense is still suspect, but they're not gonna I don't think they're going to get challenged by the Marlins at this point.
No, they
Marlins
made a
probably
strong
don't
push.
even make the playoffs.
They're up by 6 games. Philly's up by 6 games over Miami right now. I think that's too much to overcome with only a month left in the season.
Well, they got the other 2 spots they could probably get.
No, I mean, shit. They've got 66 wins. If you're looking at it, Cubs have 69. Nailed it. Reds have 68. Diamondbacks have 69. San Francisco's got 67, and they're
gotta go
all
on a
playing
stretch.
better. Yeah,
You got to be like the Mariners right now, who are fucking red hot.
yeah. You got to. They've taken over first place in that division.
They
up
were
there.
10 games back in July.
They're 9-1 in their last 10 games. The Mariners. So yeah, anything is possible.
The Rangers have more blown saves than converted saves.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's after getting a Aroldis Chapman, too.
That's sick.
Who is, I think his ERA in save situations is like over 4, and in non-save situations is under 3. Like, it's just a totally different situation. I will say, though, Arizona would scare me as a matchup if I was the Phillies. That
Why?
is because Zach Gallen and Merrill Kelly are very good pitchers. To start, I mean, Zach Gallen is potentially he kind of dropped off a little bit. I don't know if he's a Cy Young candidate anymore, but Gallen is as good of a pitcher as there is in the NL. Merrill Kelly is a top 15 pitcher in the National League this year, and Arizona has enough offense to be troublesome.
Oh, wake us up for the Braves series.
Yeah, let's go.
You're not going to get the bitch-ass Cardinals this year. Fucking
No, you're not. I wanted to ask you guys about the Padres. This seems like on paper one of the greatest lineups ever assembled. Why the fuck are they so goddamn terrible?
Because just baseball's a team sport, even though it kind of doesn't seem like it. That's really the long and
Why are
short
the
of it.
Angels always terrible with 2 of the best 5 players? And
Well, in my
The
opinion, they just
generation.
never had anybody else. So they were just kind of.
I'll agree the Padres have more than the Angels do.
Yeah.
But the Padres have there's 4 extremely high paid people in their lineup that you expect a 900 OPS from, each one of them. Not one of them has a 900 OPS. That's why they're losing.
Man, is Soto
Are they
even below that?
Are they lazy?
Soto's at 885. He's the
Okay.
highest.
Yeah.
But everybody else is in the 7s. Like Fernando Tatis Jr., OPS 781. Manny Machado 780. Xander Bogaerts 727. That's not going to cut it.
You're not paying those guys to live in the 700s.
No, you are. I mean, 850 at a minimum
Yep.
is what these guys should be at. You expect 9 to 950, 9 to 1,000 out of 2 of them.
Yeah,
and they're
Soto
just not
should
performing.
be Soto should be threatening 950 to 1,000 every year.
And so should Tatis Jr. Although he started he didn't start the season hurt. He was suspended, but he's got more bats than or he's got the same amount of at bats as Soto does. So there's no excuse for this shit. They're just not performing. It doesn't matter. You know what I mean? Who's on the team?
Yeah.
If they fucking aren't
Well,
performing.
the thing is, too, like, I don't think the personalities mesh. Like, I think it's a bad clubhouse. Nobody's like, who's the leader of that team? We've talked about this a lot on Tomahawk. Like, who the fuck is the leader in the clubhouse?
Well, it
there?
should be Manny Machado or Xander Bogaerts, but I don't hear anything from those guys.
He's a child. That's what I've heard.
He is, for sure,
Everybody
yeah.
says like he's a fucking child.
Yeah, Machado is like Nick Kyrgios, basically. He's
Yeah.
mature as
Yeah.
fuck. Soto's kind of a quiet, reserved type. Like, he's a little fun, but quiet, reserved type. Xander Bogaerts, it's his first year there, so he's not stepping up in the clubhouse. And then who the fuck else is there? Like, you typically, like, Blake Snell's not that guy. You're not going to get it out of Josh Hader.
You're not going to get it out of you, Darvish, either, because he doesn't speak fucking English.
Right.
You.
Like there's nobody. It's just that clubhouse is just, it's a, like the parts are greater than the sum.
Yeah, and it's also a very poorly run organization, generally speaking. Like, they had an outside shot of making the playoffs this year. They don't anymore, really. And they had Blake Snell and Josh Hader, 2 of the hottest deadline commodities in pitching I've seen in fucking for a very long time, right? Since maybe, what was it, 2012 when CeCe Sabathia went to the Brewers?
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah.
Like, and they're both.
Didn't Greinke get moved that year too?
Yeah, I think he did. Yeah, but they're both on fucking 1-year deals that expire after this season. They got nothing in return for these guys. It's just a shitty run organization.
They should have been selling at the deadline.
Yeah.
And like he said, those 2 guys were both on the last year of their contract. So if they want to re-sign them because the rest of the core is going to be there, they could easily fucking do that. So they could have gotten some pretty good prospects and sold those guys and just retooled for next year. Instead, they started buying. They kept losing. And now they're just fucked. Like, it's a clown show organization right now. It's crazy. Because you would think, like, people think, like, baseball, like, they all go up to take at bats on their own, and, you know, defense is a little bit cooperative, but not like it is in football or basketball or anything. And fucking no, dude. Like, it's still a shitty team that's underperforming because they don't play well together. They don't do anything well together.
Two of the funnest races are actually in the American League. We'll start with the American League East first.
I thought you were going to say white people and somebody else.
Whites and Asians. That's
Two
what
of
I
the
would have gone
funnest
with,
races.
1 and 2. But yeah, no, the Orioles and the Rays in the American League East. Both
Let's go O's.
the top 2 records in the American League in the same division, which is rare. Baltimore is at 81 wins, and the Rays are at 80. Who wins there?
Depends how long Felix Bautista's out. So the Felix Bautista is arguably the best closer in baseball. Certainly very close to the top, if not the top, for the Orioles. And yeah, he just got hurt. He just kind of on the IL. It's not like crazy serious. It's not like he's having Tommy John or something like that. But you don't want to miss out on him. He's kind of like a linchpin piece for that bullpen, obviously. And the Orioles,
but the Rays have their own struggles with Franco being out.
Wander Franco's
He's gone.
So Wander Franco is just gone.
He'll never come back,
for,
right?
Forever.
I think
here's the chain. Here's the Franco train that they gave us out at the game.
I think the Orioles are going to be just fine.
Mm-hmm. So you think they win that division?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think they win it going away, actually.
Not just
to
that
be
division.
honest.
The World Series.
I don't know about all that.
Yeah, a lot of people are been throwing sprinkling at least money on the Orioles for the World Series.
But Bautista's a really good closer. You're correct. Probably this year has been the best, I think. I can't think of anybody who's been better than him. But his backup, Cano, is just as good. Mm-hmm. And then I think Cano's whip is under 1 as well. He's got like a fucking 1.5 ERA or some shit. So he's been closing games since he's been hurt. And then Colombe as well has been doing it. And he's like not quite as efficient as those two guys, but he's still sub-3 ERA, like 1.15 whip or something like that. They're going to be fine. They're deep as shit. And the funny thing is, they're deep as shit right now. Next year or the year after, when they have 2 more prospects that are going to be coming up in that time frame, plus whatever they decide to do in free agency, if anything.
This is about to be a juggernaut.
They're going to be one of the best teams in baseball.
AL Braves.
Like for a 2 to 5 year period, they're going to be one of the best teams in baseball.
Yep. They do have a pretty light schedule down the stretch,
Do they play each other down the stretch?
They do.
at all?
There's
Okay.
a huge 4-game series in the middle of September at Baltimore, which is big. But they catch like the Angels, the Guardians, Indians, whatever, the Nats. So they play some soft teams. I wonder what Tampa's schedule looks like in comparison. But that 4-game series is probably going to end up deciding the division, I would imagine.
Okay, yeah, both are playing well. Baltimore 7-3 in their last 10. Rays are 8-2. The other compelling race is American League West here. You got the Mariners, the Rangers, and the Astros all within 1 game of each other out there. Who ends up winning the American League West?
Man.
Well, the Astros are the best team.
Yeah, the Astros have the pedigree, certainly. The Mariners have just exploded out of nowhere. Well, the Mariners were having a disappointing season.
Yeah.
And then they kind of have righted that ship. And then the Rangers just snapped an 8-game losing streak. Like they fell off a cliff.
Yeah, they're 1-9 in their last 10.
Yeah, it's bad. It's real bad.
But with that, how many wild card teams are getting in this year? Is this
3?
3 teams? Okay.
3 per league. So the first round is the lowest division winner versus the mid wild card, and then the other is the top wild card versus the bottom wild card.
Okay, so there's a good shot. Rangers, Astros, and Mariners all get in from that division. Just looking at
It
it.
depends on how many times they play each other going down the stretch, but maybe.
But they're so far ahead of everybody else. I mean, you're at 74, 73, and 74 wins there. The Rays are at 80, so they're in. Rays are taking that wild card spot, or the Orioles, depending upon which way they finish in that division. But then you have like the Guardians in the Central. They're at 62 wins. They're nowhere close.
They're further back in the
gone.
wild card.
So I think you might have 3 teams
You
out
got
of
the
the
Blue
AL
Jays.
West.
It just depends on the Blue Jays.
Blue
But
Jays are right there,
I'm
too.
kind of not. I'm
3
kinda,
games back.
I don't like the Blue Jays that much. That's another team that's like, it's really funny, dude. This is why it's like, you should feel lucky being a Braves fan, because there's a bunch of teams in the last 5 years that have had like dope cores come up, and not all of them worked out. The White Sox just fired fucking everybody because they had one of the best cores in baseball, and they just shit their pants, completely blew it. The Blue Jays are another one. They've made the playoffs. Well, so have the White Sox, I guess. They're more middling. They're not as bad as the White Sox were, but they are not living up to the hype, like, at fucking all. So for the Braves and there's an NL team too that's kind of doing it as well. But like, or even the Mets in like 2015, they had like a god tier rotation. So, or the Orioles is the other one that has a good team now. But man, yeah, the Blue Jays to me are kind of a very underwhelming. It just shit didn't really pan out the way it was supposed to.
Yeah, and they get a lot of young talent there, and it's odd with Bichette and those guys, and Guerrero obviously. Pat Corrales died, by the way. The old Braves coach under Bobby Cox, dude. Yeah, he was there forever, dude. God damn.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Forever.
was he like a wind talker or some shit?
He was. He's 82 years old, so he's talking to the wind now.
Well, that's not what that
R.I.P.
is, but
No, it is. It is. It's always in death, Joel. Hey, Joel, it's always in death, okay? It's when you really talk to the wind.
yeah, we'll see.
Mohan.
We'll see what happens with all that. You mentioned the Cardinals earlier. I wanted to pop back into football for a sec.
Go ahead.
Because Kyler Murray is starting the season on the PUP,
Yep.
which means he has to miss at least the first 4 games.
Yeah.
And they cut Colt McCoy, who got all of their first-team snaps in practice and in the preseason so far. And now they're going to start Joshua Dobbs, that alien-looking motherfucker.
From Tennessee, good.
Yeah.
God damn.
I didn't click on
He
it.
started a playoff game last year.
I wondered why they were trending together.
That's wild, dude.
Yeah, so he's thrown 85 passes in his career and completed less than 60%. That's not a great.
I think, by the way, I said this before the season started. I think the Cardinals went into this planning on tanking this entire year. I think they might finish with the worst record in football.
I think they're going to have the top
The
2 picks in the
over-under
draft.
is 4.5
They
wins.
could, yeah.
I don't think they win 5 games.
I don't either.
No fucking
Why
way.
even play Kyler Murray at all this year?
They
You
won't.
have
They may
nothing
not,
to.
yeah.
You've nothing to play for. You know, you paid him $260 million.
Well, you don't want Hollywood Brown leaving. I guess that's the only concern, right?
I bet you they trade him.
You're gonna get Marvin Harrison next year.
Yes. If you finish one.
Well, you have the Texans pick too.
Oh, that's right. But
They're probably going to have the top 2 picks in the draft.
That'd be sick.
wild.
Quarterback, receiver.
You
Yeah.
take
Caleb Williams, and Marvin Harrison Jr. Yes,
Oh,
Caleb,
it's a great way to start.
Do you
your
think
team
Caleb
over.
Wilson is going to be good in the NFL?
Yes.
No.
seems like it.
I do.
I don't.
I do.
He's 6 foot.
I
don't care about
he can
that.
fucking move, man.
Anything's better than
whatever.
Kyler Murray right now because that dude's fucking 5'8"
Yeah.
and doesn't seem to like football.
Sure. But Caleb Williams to the Cardinals, absolutely. That's a bust right there.
Any
if he goes to
quarterback to the Cardinals is a bust.
that's
though,
what I'm
really.
saying. Like if he goes to a better organization, maybe he has a better chance. But if he goes to the Cardinals, any quarterback that goes to that organization is probably going to flop.
That's a fair assessment, certainly.
I could see people trading up for Marvin Harrison Jr. for sure.
But they'd have to trade. The Cardinals would have to trade the pick though.
Oh,
Well,
Hollywood
If
Brown's
you
in
have
the
top
last
2, you would.
Hollywood Brown's in the last year of his contract. He's definitely getting traded.
Yes, he's
like
gone.
probably the first
In an hour.
half of the season.
In an hour. Did he
You'd
get
think.
traded, Joel? Now? Because now would be a good time for him to get traded. I'm sure he's asked for it.
And they have until tomorrow to get Jonathan Taylor signed, or otherwise there's something happens there.
Yeah, so it's a weird fucking situation. They have until tomorrow. Otherwise, if he does not sign a new deal, then technically he has to sit out the first 4 games of the season there. So I'm not sure what's going to happen. I know there is 7 different offers on the table. What they're asking for, I don't really know. The rumor is a first, and then something else. But
They're a nightmare organization.
they are. If you're the Chiefs, though, man, fucking get him. Or the Bills, get Jonathan Taylor. I don't fucking get it. But there's been some weird injuries with these guys that were unreported earlier. So I don't know how bad Jonathan Taylor is injured-wise. He's barely done any camp. Do you even take a risk on that?
The Chiefs shouldn't. They're going to just plug and play with that.
But if you're the Chiefs, you're giving up a first. Your first is going to be 28-30. So what the fuck do you care?
I think they'd rather
Or the
have
Bills.
that pick.
Bills are still going to be 28-30 at that point. So do it.
I think if the Chiefs trade for anybody, go get Hollywood.
Yeah, that'd be a great one. But I'm not sure what's going to happen. And the tough thing, too, with the draft tonight, Jonathan Taylor would typically go in the top 5 of a draft. I don't know what to fucking do with this guy. Because everybody who's done this throughout the last fucking 8 years has either started really fucking slow or gotten injured because they haven't had any camp whatsoever. And then they're just trying to pop back into the league like everything's going to be okay, and it never is. Usually it's a hamstring or something like that, and then they're out for a while, or they're trying to get acclimated and trying to get back into game shape again. So I don't know what to do with that fucking guy tonight. But he will definitely go in the first round. I just don't know what team he's going to play for. And then if he doesn't sign by tomorrow, then he's out for the first 4 games of the Colts anyways.
I wouldn't touch Jonathan Taylor.
Yeah.
I wouldn't touch it.
Well, we'll see tonight. Somebody will in the first round of every draft tonight. And we're going to be stuck with that. By the way, another weird story out of Michigan here. Their offensive coordinator got suspended for the first game of the year as well.
Sure.
I'm sick of this shit.
Just self-imposed.
He gave the kid mustard.
Yeah.
Oh, was he for the hamburger?
Sandwich, yeah. Fucking losers.
Yeah, he.
They have no morals there.
This whole fucking thing. Look, I obviously hate Michigan. That whole thing is fucking bullshit. I wouldn't have even sat out the first 3 games if I was Harbaugh. Even today, he went off on a 6-minute rant that we should be sharing revenue with the players from the tickets and all that other shit. If you're going to move to this expanded playoffs like this and have these kids playing 16 games a year like a fucking NFL player, you absolutely goddamn should.
Missed their whole fucking Christmas break. Like, literally. I mean, they're college kids, right? Like
You're missing everything.
Yeah.
But now you're going to miss everything into... I looked at the schedule for next year, January 20th.
I'm telling you,
the
man,
last game.
give
the
them-
Super Bowl is the first week of February.
give them more money, and also, like, they need to start getting college credits for playing football, to be honest, a little bit. Half
like
of
an
them.
internship, yeah.
What?
Like an internship. I
Well,
would
you get
yeah,
like for
credits
phys
for
ed.
it.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, you can. There's phys ed classes. You can
Most
take.
of them go work. A lot of them go end up working in football to some capacity. Like, they should be college credits. I mean, goddamn, they probably learn more in the fucking gym than they do in half their classes.
Yeah, absolutely. And then with this new flying schedule, I don't know how you expect kids to go from east to west like this and make all their classes. There's no fucking way. If you're a kid playing at a major university for football,
They'll figure it out.
So
It'll be like
a lot
pods.
a lot of the thing too now though is, have you seen like actually it's been at LSU a couple times, Angel Reese and that smoke show gymnast.
oh yeah,
They're both
Dunn, Olivia Dunn,
They both are like, I can only take online classes now because I'm so famous.
which is true.
And they get harassed.
They get harassed and shit. So I mean, I guarantee you, a lot of football players are just taking like online. I mean, it's really funny. Like, I have a buddy who has masters from Arizona State. He did it entirely online. He
Never
did not
went.
set foot in the state of Arizona.
My buddy got his master's at Ole Miss. Never went to Ole Miss.
I mean, it's crazy. Like, these kids don't need to fucking do anything other than show up to the fucking training facility.
But they are super, super famous. Now, granted, when I was there, it was not in the age of camera phones and all that other shit, so players didn't have to deal with that. But I will say this: when I was at Ohio State it was a game in 2009 or 2008. I saw Greg Oden walking through campus, and he was just fucking mobbed everywhere he went. And I did think to myself, I was like, how the fuck does that kid get to class with this many people asking for pictures, photos, and autographs and all that shit?
They weren't carrying pitchforks and torches.
No.
They didn't think some sort of frozen caveman had escaped from a lab.
He looks like it in real life, by the
I
way.
once saw
Very nice guy.
Black Brendan Fraser.
Yeah, he's a good dude. Once saw Marcus Jordan eat shit on a longboard out front of Towers freshman year. So
Really?
Yeah.
Did he get bothered?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, not bothered, but he would go to the bar when he's clearly underage. And like,
Right.
We know you're Marcus Jordan. Like,
Everybody
18.
knows who you are.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it's one of those things now with today's social media. Look, I don't like Angel Reese. The other chick can fucking get it though. Those two though would get mobbed every single second of the day, all day long. I understand it. That one I actually understand.
especially being a female.
Oh fuck yeah, dude.
Yeah.
And the harassment.
Well,
and everything
apparently
else that comes
Olivia
along
Dunn
with
was. Wait, what is her name? What, Olivia Dunn?
it. Yeah, Olivia
I
Dunn,
imagine
yeah.
she has countless stalkers.
Dude, yeah, that.
She's dating
I'm
the
one of 'em.
pitcher from the. I know, right?
Oh yeah, I've been in the bushes.
She's dating that kid who got drafted.
Number one for
yes.
baseball.
Yep.
Yeah.
The
Does your
LSU pitcher.
erection show through the ghillie suit?
Yeah, it does. 'Cause I don't put camo on that part. It's all just bare skin dick.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then the last part of this here is in regards to this East-West thing. So they've made an offer, the ACC, for Cal and Stanford to join the ACC.
Poor SMU.
And SMU.
And SMU?
This headline does not say SMU.
Well, they're burying the lead. Remember we talked about it on Outside.
We did.
They also offered SMU.
Why? Why SMU?
SMU's got money.
Why Cal? Because they have money. because their football team
Well,
sucks.
academically, Cal and Stanford makes sense if you're trying to improve.
Let's not act like the ACC is a great academic conference.
UNC is impossible.
They
to
have
get
good
into.
now know
Duke
that.
is impossible to get into.
Now
Clemson's pretty fucking hard to get into.
No,
Clemson's not.
No, it's not. And Florida. Let's talk about Florida State for a second.
Yeah.
Virginia's a great school.
Virginia
Certainly.
Tech.
Virginia Tech's fine. But a lot of these other schools. I'll go through the ACC. There's a lot of shit schools.
Dude, they're pretty fucking good academically.
Georgia
man.
Tech's a good academic school.
It's impossible to get into. Georgia Tech is impossible to get into. Yeah. There was only one kid from my class that got into Tech, and ironically, he was the biggest.
I would
stoner
say
on
there
the
are
planet,
better
and he just
schools,
crushes
more better
SATs.
schools than the shit schools you're looking up right now, Rob. Just going off. The
I
top
would
of
say
your head.
ACC is better academically, way better than SEC. SEC only
What?
one comes to mind. Yes, Vandy. That's it.
Well, yeah, that's fine. The SEC's terrible.
Yeah, the SEC
academically.
is all
Yeah.
about looking the other way so you can play football.
Yeah, they don't.
Yeah.
They don't,
They don't
do
give a
that.
shit
there.
about
That-
anything
It's
that's in
they're
the
all
classroom.
fucking.
But I'm saying that the ACC is.
There is some real All right, yeah. The ACC has a lot of good schools. There's some real turds. Louisville.
That's the one. That's it.
That's
That's not
Miami
the only
is
one.
not a great
Miami
academic
is
school.
just private.
Miami is private.
Miami
Yeah.
is
But
equivalent
it's-
to SMU, essentially. Like it's you
yeah.
pay to play situation.
Yeah.
Florida State, garbage.
How dare you?
NC State, garbage. Fucking honestly, Syracuse is not that good.
Great
Syracuse
broadcasting school.
that's it though. They have broadcasting. Like the rest of it is just like bro central. Like it's just dudes who couldn't play college lacrosse essentially.
Don't you say Pitt?
I was gonna say Pitt
Don't you say
next.
Pitt.
Yeah,
Pitt's a pretty decent school.
No, it's not. What are you talking about?
not
What
bad.
what kind of school is it?
It's not bad.
What do they specialize in?
Academically.
Nope. Yeah, that's you don't know.
Medicine.
book
No.
learning.
No.
Yeah, medicine.
Book
Fuck
They do magazines.
Yeah,
No.
no, Pitt is not.
That's a tough conference, man.
And
if you're a
honestly-
kid trying to get in.
I don't
Clemson
know.
really a good academic school?
No, it's
Is
not.
what?
I mean, it's all right. It's a
No,
good
it's
engineering
pretty good,
school.
yeah.
No,
Yeah.
it's
They do engineering and ag there pretty well.
I say this as our podcast co-host. His wife has her architecture master's degree from there. No, Clemson's not a good school.
Right.
Several of our buildings have fallen on me.
Tell her that. Tell her that.
Tell her all
we
the
do it
time.
every time.
She's designing it that way on purpose now.
We'll close it out with the FedEx Open. We didn't
FedEx
do FedEx Cup. We didn't do it this week because it's one of those tournaments where
weird. There's
people
not
are
a good
getting
enough
5
odds.
strokes and everything else. The irony of it is, and this is 100% true. Both you and I, before it started, we both picked Victor Hovland to win, and I was like,
It's my favorite golfer in the world. Yeah,
he's
he's 5-1. Picked him.
close out strong. Probably the best ending to a season ever.
Won $18 million just from this. I think on the season he didn't miss a single cut. Made $38 million this year.
Yep. I mean, it's
He lives in Stillwater, Oklahoma, by the way.
why?
How old
Because
is
he went to Oklahoma State.
How old is he?
He's 25.
He's young.
Oh,
He's a young
He's
guy.
and
my
he's-
God.
He's from Norway.
yeah.
yeah, I know. Like the things he's doing in his
In
college
Stillwater,
town with
yeah.
$38 million.
Well, I think he's married, right?
No,
I hope
he's not.
He's very single and he's very
No
he's very
way.
chill, cool. He's awesome.
Yeah.
There's not like a negative thing out there about him.
No,
we'll,
great golfer. Just need to see him win a major.
we'll find some.
Yeah, we'll
we'll
find
find
some.
We'll set them up.
But this is the end of the year here. So happy, sad. What'd you think of Scheffler this year? Very odd.
Scheffler had maybe the greatest statistical season since Tiger Woods and only had 2 wins. No majors.
It's crazy, isn't it?
Because he can't.
No, and he couldn't putt all throughout the FedEx series.
But like tee to green, no one's been as good as or like as dominant as him since Tiger.
Okay.
And yeah, you got to think that's got to eat away at him. Might
He needs that Happy Gilmore hockey putter.
yeah,
is what
he might need
needs.
that.
Yeah.
We said that like 2 months ago.
R.I.P. to Bob Barker.
Just
dude.
switch over, yeah.
Hopefully enough time passes though
Gilmore.
from now to the Ryder Cup, which is in like 3 or 4 weeks, where he just kind of clears his head and doesn't have like a big putt to win the Ryder Cup, or like win his match in the Ryder Cup and just fucking pushes it.
We'll find out. Last question for you with golf this year. Does Brooks Koepka make the Ryder Cup? What are they going to do
Yeah.
with the Live guys?
No, Koepka's the only one that makes it.
You think so?
Won the PGA Championship. Yes.
I agree. I just didn't know how that worked on the
Yeah,
other
no,
side. If
he's-
players are still pissed off about
Nah,
it, or
they're cool, Koepka. They're cool with Dustin. The only reason Bryson's not making it, people are pushing for Bryson to make it because he's played well. It's because he's suing them still, or he was a part of the lawsuit. So,
Gotcha.
Yeah, you don't want that in your locker room, I guess, as a team.
well, what happens with the lawsuits? I guess like the PGA Monahan's come out.
Sure, it's dropped, but like they're not going to forget that this man sued us.
Okay,
Like,
but he
literally
did drop the suit.
Well, the Liv did.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Cool. Gotcha.
That was part
I
of
didn't
the
know.
Saudi agreement bullshit. But yeah, like if Rob one day just sued me personally for softcore history, then dropped the lawsuit, I would still be mad that he sued me.
No, you're just an emotional little girl.
No,
You're right.
no. You ever been sued by a friend?
No,
I have. And guess what? We were not friends anymore after
I'm
that.
not friends with Discover.
Discover?
That's
What's
the only
that?
That's the only person that sued me.
What's Discover the credit card?
Yeah.
But he was before.
How does one get sued by Discover?
It's a long story, but no, I don't really want to get into it. We
It sounds like wire fraud or
we
something.
just paid it off. We're good. We're
Okay.
fine. Yeah. We're in
It's
agreement.
real
Do you
dodgy.
think that
2019 was dark.
do you think Jerry Jones and Dak Prescott are still friends? Or Jerry Jones and Mike McCarthy, since Jones went out and got Trey Lance without speaking to either of them about it?
Here's what I think in regards to that. I think what Cleveland has done is smart. I think this move was smart. Although I don't think Trey Lance is going to do anything.
Sure, but you get a number 3 pick for a fourth rounder.
Fourth rounder,
It's nothing.
and he fits in the same exact system. So if Dak goes down, I just think it is a smart move with a pretty goddamn good team that could probably keep it going. Although, is the Cooper guy still there?
Yes.
Yeah, Cooper Rush is still
So is
there.
Will Greer.
And Will Greer's there too.
Yeah, but he'll never play football.
Well, they're gonna cut one of them
Just
tomorrow.
needs a chance.
Tomorrow gets chopped down to I think the 53-man roster.
Yeah.
So what do you're not going to keep 4 quarterbacks?
no, Will Greer will probably go to the what do you call it?
Practice
The practice squad.
I would argue if he doesn't get hurt his freshman year, Florida wins that natty.
Will Greer.
Yeah.
I mean, he was
What year was that?
really fucking
His
good.
freshman year, so that was was that 2016? 2017?
Okay.
Yeah, I think it was 20. It might have been 2015.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was 2015 because I was at the game he played against Missouri in fucking at Mizzou. Yeah.
Interesting. But the comments by the coach of the 49ers, Shanahan, was pretty fucking hilarious, dude.
About Trey Lance?
Yeah. Just talking about the worth of getting a 4th-round pick for him. And,
Well, Dak Prescott was a 4th-round pick.
well, was he really?
Yeah.
Well,
But
how much they gave up for Trey Lance originally is.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
They gave up 3 first-round picks and a second for Trey Lance just to draft up to get him.
There's no player in the history of the NFL that's worth that.
No.
Not
No.
one.
No.
Not the best. Whomever
Mahomes,
you
I guess
think.
in hindsight, if
No.
you like,
Maybe
Still not even
Mahomes.
him.
you still might.
No, you
If-
can't give up that kind of capital.
If you
for
know
him, though.
what Mahomes is, like, you go back in history and you're like, all right, we'll give you these 3 first rounders for Mahomes. I think you'd do it.
I wouldn't. You know what's weird is I wouldn't do it for Brady. Like, it was the system up there and the coach and everything.
And
but-
Mahomes has proven he doesn't really need that many weapons.
Right.
He hasn't played
So
without
maybe
Andy Reid
Mahomes.
yet.
I might
Sure.
do with Mahomes.
We'll see what happens when Andy Reid goes back to his fucking walrus commune or wherever the fuck he came from
Well, he'll have a heart attack.
to
at one
retire.
point, right?
Yeah, whenever he dies in a Waffle House at 2 o'clock in the
I mean,
morning.
it'll just be a burnt end getting into one of these.
Whenever he dies and another coach comes in, then we'll see.
Yeah.
Then we'll see if Mahomes is really this good.
I think I like
But
the move.
I think he is, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Because it's
absolutely.
all improvisational. So how do you can't design a system for that necessarily?
And there's just throws he makes. That,
And look what Aaron Rodgers did with Mike McCarthy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In spite of Mike
In
McCarthy.
spite
of Mike
someone
McCarthy,
said,
yeah.
He's the worst offensive mind. And
So, like, if-
how did he get that job in Dallas? Jerry
Because,
Jones, Jerry Jones
just
was like,
based
oh,
off
I
that
recognize
one-
that guy.
yeah, exactly.
Well, no,
That's
he
all
had
it was.
that, but he also had this like weird background story he came up with. He's like, I spent the last year in a cabin watching game tape,
Yeah.
and he somehow talked that into a job with Jerry Jones.
It's weird, man.
I think Jerry Jones is easy to trick.
I think
I
he
did
is.
too. I did too.
I think he's very dumb.
Like, I think he has just like constant cocaine fever dreams, and it's just people. If you catch him at the right time,
you get the job.
How did he make his money? Oil?
yeah,
He probably just stumbled into it.
yeah.
Like,
Well,
yeah.
now his money is the Cowboys.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's worth what, $8 billion. Or
Yeah, I mean, he
something
bought
crazy?
them for like $100 million or something like that.
Yeah.
Sports
but
teams never devalue.
Yeah,
The thing with social media now is with everybody making AI shit and everything else. I don't know if this quote is true. I read it and it was hilarious. But the quote from Shanahan was, "I've had better trade-ins at GameStop."
Oh, I assumed it wasn't. I mean, I want it to be.
I don't know if it is.
I assume
or-
that's not real.
Yeah.
But he's kind of been like that anyways. So like, it wouldn't shock me on
By
the
the
other
way,
side. So who
the
knows?
saddest part of the whole thing is Trey Lance apologized to the 49ers front office for being a bust.
Did he really?
Dude, you can't.
I mean,
can't
how
do that.
was he a bust though? They didn't play him.
Really got
I know, but he apologized. He's like, "I'm sorry, I didn't live up to your expectations." Like, because he's apparently just like a super nice, like talking. We can talk on the show, but he's just like, "Guys, I'm sorry."
He's not saying that
I hate to hear
sarcastically.
that.
No. He's just like a super nice guy and was like, "I wanted to live up to what."
Fuck, I hate hearing shit like that.
Well, now he's gonna. I can't.
Now
say
I'm
it.
rooting for him.
I
Shit.
know. Yeah.
Shit.
He's a cowboy. No.
If Dak goes down and he gets in, the thing about the Cowboys, I've just never liked Dak. I wouldn't mind if Trey Lance did it.
It doesn't matter what pieces you put on either side of the ball around Dak Prescott. He will never win a Super Bowl.
with you.
Not ever.
I'm
I
with
think
you.
he's perfectly fine though, right? Like he's not terrible. He's a.
No, it's just really hard to fucking be great in the NFL.
Yeah,
It is.
He's
So
a
it's not,
very
he's
average
better than all of
quarterback.
us.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I think with Dak too, though, is that like he'll do like he's almost like he's kind of like Mahomes in that he'll do some things where you're like, oh my god, but then he shits his pants.
Then you're like,
He's
oh
more
my
like
God.
J.R. Smith doing it, not like Steph Curry doing it.
Right,
Where
right.
he forgets what down it is in
Yeah.
the middle of the fucking play.
You
or
get
something.
heat checks.
Yeah.
Running the ball up the middle to run the clock outs. Speaking of running the clock outs, we will run the clock out tonight on the Drinkin' Bros fantasy football drafts here. We're starting in about an hour, so we got to get out of here and prepare for these things. I'd say best of luck to you, but I wouldn't mean it. I want to kill all of you. I want the fucking rings, all the titles, all the things this year. So fuck all you guys. I will see you tonight in the draft boards. Appreciate you tuning in, kids. Bet with us or against us on mybookie.com. Promo code Drinkin' Bros, doubling that first deposit all the way up to $1,000. And please make sure to rate and review the show on iTunes and Spotify. For D'Anthony Holloway, Delco Dan, Hot Bob, I'm Ross Patterson. This is the Monday Morning Recap. Good morning, everyone.